Orire school children, how arrest of kidnappers, family members led victims' rescue. Oil cartels, tanker operators, enforcement agencies blamed for Apapa Kirikiri gridlock. And in other news, we have here troops kill 274 insurgents as Nigeria records 882 attacks. Welcome, good morning. This is the Morning Impact Show. We are live on your urban lifestyle station 102.1 FM. We're also live on our YouTube channel at High Impact 102.1 FM. This is the newspaper review segments. And right here, we get to share with you stories that made front page and, let you contribute to the thoughts of what is happening in the nation and also outside of the country. My name is Toluwashe Akimomi. Now you can follow us on all our social media platforms on TikTok, Instagram, Facebook, and X at High Impact 1021 FM. You can also send a text message or WhatsApp message, or if you want to give us a call and contribute to any of the stories, the number is 0907 224 5018. Again, that is 0907 224 5018. Once again, welcome to the newspaper review segment. And we start with the Vanguard newspaper as at Friday and of course on Saturday it's been quite a celebratory moment as thankfully the kidnap that was made around the month of May where school children were kidnapped alongside teachers and a principal which unfortunately was murdered in cold blood have finally been rescued. And so we have here on the front page with all of these details on page 16. Of course, on the Vanguard, the story of how her arrest of kidnappers' family members led to rescue of victims definitely is what we have here. And the writer, it says, according to the parents, our children may not return to school. Now, this particular story you find on page 6. Now, just a little bit of backstory as to how all of this has been happening. Fresh details have emerged on the intelligence-led operation that added to the successful rescue of school children and teachers abducted from Ahuru, Eshinle, Yawota, and Alausa communities in Orire local government area of Oyo State. The security sources disclosing that the arrest of family members of the kidnappers proved to be a decisive turning point. Now, 39 school children and 7 teachers were abducted by terrorists as at May 15, 2026. Now, according to security sources, after weeks of sustained intelligence gathering and military pressure, operators of the DSS tracked down and arrested several wives and children of the kidnappers in different communities and cities across the country. The operation, sources said, was coordinated by a senior DSS official after security forces had already sealed off the terrorist escape routes and surrounded their hideouts inside the national park forest. According to sources, it said, and I quote, the family members were subsequently taken to Abuja, where the wives were interrogated in accordance with investigative procedures. Also, more reports show that multiple security sources further disclosed that video recordings of the interrogations were somehow leaked to the kidnappers, and a development that reportedly unsettled them and altered the course of negotiations. Now, of course, more details of this are on page 6. there's a whole lot that really happened, but most importantly, a whole lot of Nigerians were just happy that this has finally been been done after like 2 months now, if I'm not mistaken, being in the forest. Of course, the video circulating. Aside from the teachers, you can see aside from the children, you can see some of the teachers, being lean, and that whole feeling of being in that place for a very long while, and the whole stress. But thankfully, of course, they were admitted into the hospital, and of course, the Osun State governor was the Oyo State governor was there also to ensure that they were properly cared for. Of course, there are more details of parents saying our children may not return to schools. Of course, it is understandable. And so, more of these stories you find on page 6 and page 10 on the Guardian newspaper. All cartels, tanker operators, enforcement agencies blamed for Apapa Kirikiri gridlock. Now we also have this news, and you can find this one on page 7. And so, apparently, this is what has been crippling businesses and disrupting residents' daily lives and hampering economic activities. Also, findings by different sources showed that thousands of businesses, commuters, and residents in the Apapa Kirikiri industrial and commercial axis continue to bear the enormous economic and social costs of the persistent congestion. Now, at the center of the crisis are petroleum distribution activities involving marketers, tanker operators, and enforcement agencies whose operations have increasingly spilled onto public roads. Also, the consequences include severe traffic congestion, rising transport costs, deteriorating road infrastructure, delayed cargo evacuation, and worsening living conditions for residents, especially during the rainy season as such. Banks/lending caught 5.4 trillion naira across key sectors. You have this on page 12. And that is what we have here on the Vanguard newspaper. And we move to the Punch newspaper. Troops kill 274 insurgents as Nigeria records 882 attacks. We have this one on page 2. And reports are saying right here that at least 792 persons lost their lives in 882 security incidents across all 36 states and the Federal Capital Territory in June 2026. The military killing 274 insurgents, according to the latest report by SARI Global, which is a risk intelligence and security analysis firm that specializes in providing operational data. Now, this is as the report stated that the Islamic State West Africa province had launched a coordinated strategy in the Guno axis of northern Borno that blocked access to humanitarian aid from reaching hundreds of thousands of internally displaced persons. Now, more on this, of course, part of the writers underneath are saying U.S. body report says insurgents target AIDS workers and cargo trucks and schools. We also have here that Borno tops violence chart with 172 fatalities. Zamfara and Plateau follow. The amount of insurgencies and, of course, records of kidnaps, attacks, terrorism over the past 5 to 6 years has been quite alarming. And there was even a particular time, almost every single month, you get to hear stories like this. This you find on page 2. Underneath, you have a picture of commuters stranded as flood wreaks havoc on Lagos Ogun roads. Now, in the first instance, the roads at around that Ogun side, yes, it's quite terrible. And of course, during the rainy season, it's even much worse because the place is always quite messy. And right now, I cannot even imagine how those areas actually look like, especially with the flooding that has been happening in different parts of the states. Of course, you can find here that from buses to tricycles to even motorcycles just left in the middle of the road because they cannot move. We have this one on pages 4 and 5. Fake agency scandal. Police to arraign controversial DG Tuesday. I'll take that again. Police to arraign controversial Director General today. We have that on page 24. NDLEA arrests South African woman over 5.75 kg cannabis haul. Only 217,784 meters installed under $500 million power project. This you find on page 34. Beside the nameplate, 2027 presidency, APC Muslim ticket sparks fresh debate. You can find that on page 2 alongside a story concerning Nigeria recording 882 attacks. Above the nameplate, recovered ISWAP footage reveals Palestinian trainer Moroccan doctor, and this is according to the army. I have that on page 8. Rescued Oyo pupils may meet families today. Foreign debt servicing gulps almost $1 billion in 2 months. And this one you have on page 34. This is what we have right here on the Punch newspaper. Of course, before the end, we can also get to tell you a little bit more details on some of the stories. Well, we'll go on a quick break right now, and when we are back, we'll tell you more stories from other dailies. Stick around.
Welcome to High Impact Studios, the place where creativity meets production perfection. Need an outstanding audio production? We deliver professional jingles, engaging voiceovers, and attention-grabbing radio promos that stand out from the crowd.
If you're in the podcasting world, we've got the ideal recording space for you. Our studio is designed to ensure pristine sound, making it the perfect place to bring your podcast to life.
But we don't stop at audio. Looking for a space to film your next big project? High Impact Studios offers customizable spaces for movie movie sets and video production.
Giving you everything you need to create stunning visuals.
Whatever your vision, High Impact Studios is here to make it a reality.
Let's create something amazing together.
Start your day with Impact as we give you positive affirmations, traffic updates, entertainment, fun trivia, and many more on Morning Impact. From 6 a.m. to 12 noon every day on High Impact 102.1 FM, your urban lifestyle station.
And I know it's gonna be a lovely day.
Put a touch of class and finesse on your brand by advertising with us at High Impact 1021 FM. For more information, call
0706 393 5694, 0915 958 1881, or 0902 745 3931.
Follow us on our social media platforms at High Impact 1021 FM. Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Our deals are hotter than the weather itself.
Welcome to TechView, a show that takes a closer look at how technology is changing our lives, from virtual reality to artificial intelligence, where we'll explore the latest innovations and how they are shaping our world. So, are you a tech expert or just a curious soul? Again, welcome to TechView. Join us every Tuesday at 4 p.m. for a fun and informative conversation about all things tech. Learn about the future of technology and how it's impacting you. TechView, your guide to the future.
Welcome to High Impact Planet Amusement Park, Resort and Hotel, Nigeria's world-class destination where excitement lives and memories never fade. Located along the Lagos-Ibadan Expressway in Ibafo, Ogun State, discover over 60 thrilling rides and attractions. Get to feel the rush and joy everywhere you turn. From coaster adventures to fun indoor games, it's the perfect spot for family time, school excursions, and unforgettable days out. Planning a team outing or corporate retreat? Enjoy our conference rooms and team bonding spaces designed to make every moment worthwhile. And when it's time to relax, unwind in our comfortable hotel rooms and service apartments with delicious meals. Because what we give is a complete experience. This is where magic happens. This is where memories are made. High Impact Planet. Fun just got real. Send us a DM on Instagram at High Impact Planet NG or call 0814-229-9509 to book your experience today.
Cups? Check. Controversial conversations? Double check. Cool people? Triple check. All right, buckle up. Let's get this show on the road.
Tired of scrolling? Wishing you could actually talk about what's trending? Then grab your favorite drink and tune into Cups and Conversations every Wednesday at 2 p.m. on High Impact Radio. We're serving up the hottest topics with a side of seriously fun vibes. From viral memes to real-life dilemmas, we're diving deep with young voices that actually matter.
I mean, picture it. Think juicy debates, hilarious stories, and maybe even a few spilled drinks. Want to join the conversation? Call us on 0704-425-2109 or 0907-224-5018 or hit us up on Instagram at High Impact Radio 1021 FM.
With banging music breaks to keep your energy pumping, it's the perfect blend of chill and chat.
Don't miss Cups and Conversations. Wednesdays at 2 p.m. It's your voice, your drinks, your show. Cups and Conversations. Listen up.
Hello there. Join us Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.
welcome back. This is still the Morning Impact Show, and it is the newspaper review segment. Now, we've been taking papers one after the other, sharing with you stories that made front page. Now, we move on to the Daily Trust newspaper. Federal government exam fee hike drops. Federal government exam fee hike raises dropout fares. We have here that the federal government has been criticized for its decision to increase the registration fee for the West African Examinations Council, which is also known as WAEC, and the NECO, that's the National Examinations Council's Senior Secondary Certificate Examinations, to 50,000 naira. Now, the new fee approved by the Federal Ministry of Education represents an 82% increase over the current registration fee of 27,500, and that is already more double the amount, making it one of the sharpest increase in examination charges in recent years. Also, education experts and other stakeholders, however, warned that the upward review could place additional financial pressure on millions of struggling families and worsen the out of school crisis. The approval for the increment was conveyed in a letter dated June 18, 2026, signed by the Director of Senior Secondary Education at Adeniji Ibrahim, following a request by WAEC for an upward review of examination fee for candidates seeking for Senior Secondary Certificate Examination from 2027. Now, you can get more details on this on the Daily Trust newspaper on page 4. Now, there could be two sides of this. Now, on one end, a few might feel, this will actually make students sit up, and if you know that probably you're the one paying your fees, you wouldn't want to allow such money to waste. But at the same time, that kind of increment is quite high, double the amount during the economic situation of the country. I mean, a whole lot of people do actually want to go to school, but then making the access that quite difficult can also cause a lot of strain on families and even on children, because once they see that it's quite difficult having to even pay the normal fees, and then it comes to an examination that is supposed to qualify you to get into a university and you're not able to pay or meet up, it's just an added stress, difficulty, and with enough distractions on the internet today, many would even rather say that they won't go to school. So it is quite discouraging. I mean, the amount is quite high, to be honest. And of course, we have here underneath one agency, two heads, as Wike's Ali remains in office despite Tinubu's directive. Now, underneath the nameplates, parents of abducted Borno pupils mount pressure after Oyo rescue. You can get more details on that on page 7. 9 family members, 27 others killed in Plateau, Benue, Niger. And lastly, we have here, in quote, "He was our hope." Father of slain 28-year-old lieutenant mourns. You have that story on page 41. And that is so much we have on the Daily Trust newspaper. Now, do not forget that you can give us a call or send a text message or WhatsApp message to 0907 224 5018. And lastly, on the Guardian newspaper, we talk about how it is that, the country is actually missing out on a huge opportunity, but there are two sides of this. Now, in many other countries, what one person would see as dirt, waste, is actually a huge source of income. And we're talking about e-waste recycling, right? And this thereabouts generates close to 1.1 million tons of global 62 million yearly e-waste volume. And so in some parts of the countries, you find, waste products and different kind of recycle bins where you can put maybe paper, bottle, and these are actually recycled for other uses, other plastics and thereabout. But here, most of the time, we are missing out, and the amount is up to $89 billion income. Now, like I said, there are two sides to this particular situation. There's a part where there's a huge economic opportunity gap that is being missed out, and it involves, a yearly annual loss of $4.5 billion. How is it possible that that kind of amount of money is actually lost to just waste? But there are different kinds of waste. There's one of used products, maybe from electronics, there are papers, there are bottles, so many of them. And then we have 1.1 million tons. That is from the electronic waste. We also have, 100,000 in quote shadow workers. I mean, you may not know, but you probably would have seen them probably in your area, around the streets, trying to pick things from the dustbin. They are actually collectors. They're looking for metals, scraps, basically anything, and then they actually sell it to people who would then have to send it to other parts of the nation or country that intent just gives them money. In fact, I even saw a particular video in a particular country, probably it's Germany or so, when you pick bottles and then you submit them at the designated places, they actually give them money, right? And so this is not, it's not all waste. This is actually a huge money-making opportunity. That aside, there is also the toxic human toll to this side of the story. Now you have 75% water contamination. Now, if you really look at Lagos and how things are, you find out that most on groundwater near Lagos e-waste dump site is now unfit for human consumption. And why? Because these wastes keep accumulating. If the gutters around are not properly constructed for drainage, for a proper drainage process, of course, whatever water that is there, definitely once it sips on the ground, of course, there's a whole lot of science to that. It tends to make those places, the water there unfit, if there are fishes, and same thing. A really good example is the Niger Delta Belt. There are a lot of companies there that are actually, flaring gas. But when you go to communities like that, you find out that they have a lot of complaints. Oh, they can't drink their water. There are no fishes anymore because the oil spillage is also affecting the fishes there. And so one of the major occupation they have, which is fishing, it's almost nearly impossible. It's almost nearly impossible because, of course, those fishes die out due to the contamination of the oil spillage. Now, that is one side, which is water contamination. Another is hazardous metal extraction, where untrained collectors burn cables and use acids to extract copper and gold. And lastly, of course, severe health crisis. Majority of these people, maybe they're actually collecting these things. They're exposed to toxins that can lead to cancer, respiratory failure, and permanent DNA damage. So like I said, there are two parts to this, but systems and structures being put in place, one can actually ensure that even if there is damage, it's not going to be so much to be affected. But you can get more detail on this on page 6. Still on the Guardian newspaper, terrorists kill 9 Plateau family members, 18 in Benue attack. Terrorists kill 9 Plateau family members, 18 in Benue attack. We have that on page 30. Atiku Nance Ford proposed 50,000 naira WAEC NECO fees hike. We just talked about that earlier in Daily Trust. And we have here, above the nameplates, Trump's new Africa envoy visits Nigeria and presents new migration deal. Also on page 3, Oye decries doctor-patient ratio gaps, widening infrastructure deficit. I mean, the amount of doctors that are needed to actually treat patients are low, and you find that most people are actually relocating. Dangote cracks down on illegal haulage and offers 500,000 naira reward for whistleblowers. We talked about this case earlier as part of the issues that are actually causing the gridlock at Apapa and Kiri, and of course talking about oil cartels being in this situation. I have this one on page 2. And we have here, lastly, how intelligence-led operations aided rescue of abducted Uwiri victims. You have that one on page 5. We also talked about that earlier on the Vanguard newspaper, which, if this is just the first time that you're tuning in, good morning and welcome. A whole lot has been said, and you have missed quite a bit, but you can always get a recap of it on our YouTube channel. If you just go to High Impact 1021 FM, yes, you'll be able to get all of the details and not miss anything. But do not forget to leave a comment below on your thoughts and, of course, what you would like to air from the story. And this is where we will be closing the curtain. Honestly, I would say that I would say that Nigerians are now a little bit more settled, because at least this children and of course the teachers have gone back to their loved ones safely. It's just quite unfortunate for the principal who was actually murdered during the very first week of the abduction. And I know that one of the questions that are also in the minds of people are, this is not to happen again. Really, it's a whole toll. I one of the things I was thinking about was, how are they going to, come back living as citizens, being integrated back into the society, right? I mean, it's not like these people were like 2 months away from civilization because they wanted to go camping. This was 2 months of anxiety, 2 months of fear, 2 months of not even knowing what is going to happen next. So many conversations would have been had in the minds of, at least aside from the adults, even the children. So there's a whole lot that is still going to happen, but it is very important that they get the very best, maybe a rehab, just to ensure that they are taken care of. And definitely a lot of them are still going to be suffering from PTSD, as the post-traumatic side effects of all of this. But first, we are happy that they are back to their families safe and sound. Of course, more details will be shared during the course of the week, and of course, more stories we will let you know. Do not forget to get your PVC in preparation for the upcoming elections. And this is where we close the curtains. Thank you for everyone who tuned in to join and participate. My name is Choduwashe Akiwumi. Of course, tomorrow is another time for you to join us by the hour of 78 to know what is happening in the country and outside of the country. Do take care, and of course, have yourself a lovely morning ahead. The Morning Impact Show continues from now to 12 noon. Do take care.
Mondays to Fridays, 7:05 a.m. for newspaper reviews, headlines, analysis, and comments on your urban lifestyle station. High Impact 102.1 FM.